All right, so this is Emma and my first attempt at a podcast.
Great.
We'll see if we can keep ourselves under control for the duration. So Emma, let's start. What's going on with you?
Okay. I got a fight coming up in like 3 weeks on the 1st of March, which is good. That's the only thing on the horizon at the moment. I had like a real quiet period for, well, a long time.
It's been like it will have been 6 months, right?
Yeah, like a real long time. And now a couple of friends have just come back, so I've got like 2 sparring partners now, which is amazing because I spent like 6 months having 0 sparring partners and being really bored with my training and getting really fed up, and now I have some sparring partners and a fight coming up, so it's looking up for the moment.
I think that on the way to my fight in Hua Hin, I saw a sign for where your fight is. Is it down on that side of the coast?
I think so. I'm not very good at this.
You've been there so many times.
I know. I never pay attention. But, it's Ratchbury, yeah. So I think it's on that way.
Okay. And who's cornering for you? Is going to be Krusing?
Yeah, I think so. I was actually talking to Master Toddy's brother today, P.O., and he was like, who's going with you? I'll come with you. So at least it'll be him. Krusing, I'm sure, will be there. He comes every time.
Right.
I think it's not... Normally when we go down there, it's like a team thing, like a bunch of us fight. We don't really have much of a team at the moment. We have this one guy from Holland. I kind of embarrassed myself because I had to take a photo of him to send to the promoter. And I was like, have you fought before? He was like, yeah, like 46 times. I was like, oh, cool. But apparently he's going to be fighting too.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's a good venue. They really take care of us. They're real nice people, and they give us good opponents, so it's cool.
Yeah, you've had a really, really good track record with your opponents there. Do you have any idea who you're facing, or it's just one of these, like, you show up and...
I don't know. The first 2 times I fought the same girl. The last time it was some girl I'd never heard of who wasn't from the university. The first girl was one of the students there, because they have a Muay Thai college there.
Right.
Apparently they don't have many girls my size, which, surprise, surprise. But I don't know what his position is, some doctor guy, he's some kind of director there, but he apparently loves me. So, but I was fighting one of his girls the first 2 times, and he was like betting on me to win. So that was nice. But Master Toddy called him up and was like, you have to give her a good opponent. So
nice.
Hopefully it'll be good. It's always a really good show there. So
yeah. So I fought on Friday, and I'm going to be fighting, I guess, this Friday and Saturday. I have this cut, so we'll see if it reopens on Friday. Hopefully I can still fight on Saturday. I don't know.
Who are you fighting on Friday and Saturday?
Friday is Jom Kwan, who I fought in Karat once, but this is up in Mahasarakam in Isan. And I was actually supposed to rematch her pretty quickly after the first time we fought, but she like broke her hand in some kind of motorbike accident, which I was such a jerk. I was telling Kevin, like, oh, there's no way she broke her hand because she's fighting me again so quickly, and she's fought prior to this, like, blah, 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 and he's like, Sylvie, it only takes like 6 weeks to heal a broken bone. I was like, oh, I just clearly don't know anything about that. But so I'm excited to fight her again because she's actually a really good opponent.
Just you messed up your hand and just kept fighting.
If you don't say it's broken, then it's fine. And then on Saturday is supposed to be Petsy Ngern, who I've fought before.
Right.
It'll be in Saraburi, but I fought her before in Karat.
Okay, cool.
But you know what? I've actually been told I'm going to fight her again, and when I go, it's never her. So I'm a little bit. Yeah. I'm like, I'll see when we get there, kind of thing.
That's often the case. How was your fight in Hua Hin last week?
It was good. I like fighting in Hua Hin. I like that promoter. I like that gym, the stadium.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a stress point for me because one of the reasons that I moved to Thailand to be a fighter is that I was just really sick of the like East Coast bullshit, which is not particularly East Coast. That's just where I lived. So
right, okay.
It happens everywhere. But this happened to be another American, so I was not excited to reintroduce all of the bullshit that comes with fighting those people.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a situation where it was like, you know, I don't really say no to fights. I don't really want to also be in the position of like, no, I won't fight you. I thought it was a really terrible matchup. And I actually contacted my husband and was like, do you know that you're fighting me? Because I think this is maybe not the best matchup. And he was like, oh no, she really just wants to fight. It's no problem, blah, blah, blah. And because of her height, she's insanely tall.
Yeah.
It ended up being more of a difficult fight for me than I had anticipated. So definitely throw that out there that I was like, I'm just going to, this is not a good fight for me, but it ended up being much harder than I thought. But, it was not my easiest fight, and it was definitely not my hardest fight. And all of that shit that I thought was going to come from fighting another East Coast girl definitely came. But because I'm not really in that pool anymore, I haven't seen it so much.
You don't have to deal with it.
People have been screenshotting it and sending it to me as if they want to see it.
Great.
So that is what it is, but at the end of the day, I am still doing what I love to do, and it just goes down the stream. Like, I'm at the next fight, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seemed like a really bad matchup, like, because you have literally 10 times more experience than her.
Yeah, more, I think.
More than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. It didn't end up how you thought it would, because I didn't even realize she was that tall. When I watched the video, I was like, whoa.
Kevin, when we got there, I saw her, and I was like, fuck, she's tall. And Kevin was like, she's not that tall, she's just skinny, so she looks really tall. And I'm like, no, she's tall. Like, she's the same height, if not taller than her husband. And he's like, oh, no, well, he's not very tall. When we got in the ring, he's like, she is tall. Like, she's, like, taller than the ref.
How did that feel in the clinch?
I clinch with tall guys at my gym, so thank God for that. I had experience with those angles, but it makes everything like things that normally would work just simply don't. And she actually has pretty good clinch resistance, but it's one of these things where, like, because she fights at a really low weight, she didn't make weight for this fight, so I have no idea what she actually, maybe like 112 or something, but. Because she fights at like 105 or something, she's just always like crazy towering over her opponents. Right. And just having that kind of physical advantage of that height, I was like, that's crazy. But at the same time, I have a physical advantage of being really strong for my size, and like I can't like feel bad about having that advantage. So that's not like her fault for being insanely tall for that weight. But do
we know how long she's in Thailand for?
I think she might be leaving very soon. I think they were here for like a month, and they did that thing where they fight like right at the end of the trip.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know how much longer. Yeah, something like that. But Kate, who's at the Muay Thai guy thing at
right?
Gym, she came and saw me today. We trained together this morning. And I'm just so into her process of, like, coming out for this 1 month training camp and fighting twice in 2 weeks. And she's totally just, like, she's a very cool girl. She's, like, totally on the ball. So as much as I, like, get on my pedestal and tell people, like, you should plan on fighting more than once, blah, 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 people who actually come and do that, like, and are able to do that, I get so excited because my other friend Kate came out and she kind of saved it for the end, and her fight didn't end up happening, and it made me really sad.
So disappointing.
And you can't control it, so it's rough.
Yeah, and her opponent really her last opponent from MBK really wanted to rematch her. I was talking to her about that. I think her name was Beck, and from Australia, I believe. And she said she contacted her she like tried a lot of different avenues to contact her and be like, we need to rematch.
Right.
And the promoter had requested that they rematch as well, but she's going to be going home like on Sunday.
Yeah, something like this. She I guess she did get in touch with her because Kate was saying that part of the issue, I guess, is that Beck didn't realize it was a 5-round fight.
Oh, really?
The only reason Kate knew is because she had looked at the program and it said on there 5 rounds, which, either you see the program or you don't. And I can imagine in Beck's situation, you think you're done after 3 rounds and you have 2 more rounds. It's like a nightmare.
Yeah, because their fight, it was pretty fast paced.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the go, so that makes sense now.
Yeah. They went.
She did really well in that fight.
It was a great fight. I haven't seen a lot of fights that were like that, crazy the entire way through, and they weren't just like flailing at each other. It was really like controlled and well done.
Yeah, I can see why the promoter wanted them to rematch.
Totally.
Yeah, so she said she'd rather like focus the last few days of her trip on coming to train and stuff, and so she's been with you today, and she's gonna be at my gym on Friday.
Yeah,
so that's pretty.
Sean is coming with her to your gym as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I've never met him in person before.
Yeah.
So. I don't know if it's just them or if they're bringing the whole crew or what. But,
yeah. That'll be interesting.
I'm excited for that.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in female Muay Thai.
Okay.
So I got to see this 4-woman 1-round KO tournament.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that.
So you explain what this tournament was, because you actually had a better info on it than I did.
Well, and that's still very little, but what it appeared to be was it's a tournament where every stage of it you fight for 1 round.
Right.
I think they did this before at Lumpini. You remember that thing they did at Lumpini where the women were fighting in the car park?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what that was too.
Really?
It was. Yeah, the poster said like 1 round knockout, elimination tournament, something like that.
Huh.
Yeah. I only know about it because Peach was refereeing and she was posting about it.
Yeah.
And Darina was there, so I was kind of texting her while she was there, and she said that yeah, it was 1 round each, so everybody just came out guns blazing and was just going for it. She said it wasn't really Muay Thai, but I hope there's video of it so we can actually see it again.
I watched it streaming because apparently I don't get Channel 3 SD. There are like 2 or 3 Channel 3s here. So I get Channel 3 HD, but Channel SD isn't on my TV. So I watched it online, and unfortunately in the streaming it would like get caught, and in a 1-round fight you can miss like the entire fight. So there were a couple of fights that I didn't really understand because it, like froze up and then started. The men, I have no idea whether they weighed in because their sizes were incredible.
Really?
But I don't know. I assume that they're gathered from some kind of pool of similarly sized people. But so the tournament was Chomani, who won Muay Thai Angels, Teresa Wintermere, who's been in Thailand forever and has very high number of fights here. She's from Sweden. Then the woman from Germany is Dilara Yildiz. Is that right?
Yep, that's the one, yeah.
And then Miriam Sabat from Hong Tong Gym up north. And she's Italian, I think, yeah?
I don't know.
She is. I think Muay Farang did something with her. But so they had the like female tournament within the larger 1 round fight KO bigger tournament. But so the first one was Miriam versus Chomani, and I've seen Chomani fight quite a few times, only ever on TV. She looks like one of the most frustrating people to fight.
I love watching her fight.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
Emma, she was doing this weird thing that I've never seen before, where like I just learned this thing from Berklerk where you kind of like do this step back thing to like get out of the way. She was doing that forward, which looked like a herky-jerky dance or something. Like she's like cross-country skiing or something, but she'd use it to cover space, and then she ends up in her correct stance again in order to land her power kick rather than doing like a switch step to get on her left side. It was like, if I could figure out fully how she was doing it, I would have stolen it by now, but I can't even fully figure out what she was doing. It was so cool. And she just kicks and kicks and kicks, like so frustrating, and so many points scored that like
I love this style.
And so Kevin and I were kind of like, she's so amazing, we love watching her, but I wonder if her kicks have any power, because of the way that she throws them is just kind of from every angle. And then the computer froze, unfortunately, during the final with her and Teresa. So we didn't actually see what happened until the replay. But in the replay, her foot catches Teresa right in the liver. And so there's that delay. And then Teresa goes down, and we're like, there's That looked very painful. But But it's interesting because Teresa, being a clinch fighter, in a one-round fight, it's not great to be a clinch fighter. Like, she did good in her first round with Delara, but when she fought against Chomini, who's so like all over the place anyway, you just don't have time to like progress with your clinch and kind of wear into it. So
it's like how you say you don't do very well in 3-round fights.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you only had 1 round.
Yeah, one round. What are you gonna do? Like, unless you like really lock someone and like.
I mean, I'm not a clinch fighter, but I've been through entire fights and got to the end of it and been like, but how? It's over? Like, I didn't do anything. You know?
Exactly. And there are fighters like Loma, who's an incredibly good fighter, and there are like 6 points scored in the entire fight, but they're all hers. You know?
Yeah,
so it's like, how do you catch up with that? So Chomini, incredible. She seems really unstoppable, and she seems small for the tournament. She seems smaller than everyone else.
What weight did that happen at?
I don't know. Like, I know that Teresa can do 57, but drop to 54 for like her titles. So I'm guessing it was somewhere between 54 and 57, which I think that Chomini is around 54. So maybe she just looks small or something. I don't know.
I thought Chomini was like 57. What that first Muay Thai Angels tournament? What weight was that at?
That I think was at 57, but she was small for that one. But then, to be fair, when they put the weights up on the screen, it's like they just picked numbers out of a hat. Like, I don't think that that's what people weighed in at. So I may be totally off on what she weighs, but she looks small.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Muay Thai Angels, they're supposed to be coming back this year, and we don't know when they're having a show, but they keep talking about it. And I've been talking to the managing director, and he just keeps telling me soon. So I don't think they know when it's going to be. But I'm excited for them to come back with something this year.
Do you think they'll keep the structure and make it a tournament, or?
I don't know. I actually preferred the second show they did when it was kind of more diverse.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that.
Yeah, they seem to. In the second show, they introduced more weight classes. Which was interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, because their last show was like a year ago now, right?
I think
they happened on Muay Thai Day last year. And I mean, that first show, there was a lot of money in it. I mean, wasn't the prize like 1 million baht?
That was for the tournament.
Yeah.
Which is first season, but it carried over, so.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of thinking, do they have any money left? Is that what happened? You know, did they kind of run out of steam? So can they afford to do that kind of big show? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for them to come back with something.
And then I think you had more information than I do about Sophia fighting Tenancinok up in the north.
They actually, I think it was Santai that posted something today. I didn't get a chance to fully read it, but they posted a little breakdown of the fight and how it went. I'll have to take another look at that. But they were saying that one of the judges thought that she could have won it, but Sophia also posted on her Facebook that she felt like she hadn't prepared enough, and this fight was kind of a reality check for her. I think she was kind of coming off a winning streak, and it seemed like she was saying that she kind of underestimated this fight.
Yeah.
But they're going to rematch in March in Ayutthaya, apparently. So maybe not for a title, but they are going to rematch. I don't know if the belt's going to be on it, but
maybe that's for the other Muay Thai Day, the original Muay Thai Day.
And the White Crew Day.
And do you know what? Did they weigh in for this, or was there a weight on the belt or anything? Because it's kind of an interim, like nobody knows what belt this is.
I believe they did. I don't know what weight it was at, because I know Santai posted that Tenancinok had won the belt at like 2 different weights or something. But I don't know what that is. That's not very useful, I know. I'll have to double check.
And this is how you follow female Muay Thai, is that none of the information...
But Sophia normally fights at like 51 kilos, right?
Yeah. And she just started her blog, right?
Yeah, she put up her first post today, just kind of, she talked about how she was here a couple of years ago and how she went back home and was working her ass off to come back here, and how, you know, a lot of people, they come out here and then they go back home and they're like, well, this sucks. I think I'm going to go back to Thailand. And now she's back here. Well, she's sponsored, so I don't think there's really a time limit. I think it's for as long as she can be out here. She said her goal is to become a world champion. So, yeah, it's nice to hear a little bit more from her.
Yeah.
She's so active fight-wise, but I've never heard her voice really. Apart from that one interview that Don Heatrick did with her.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
It's good too to have someone who's present up in the north to kind of connect, because we're kind of down here, and there's so much going on in Chiang Mai in terms of female Muay Thai. It's really nice to have someone up there following that. So
yeah, I mean you're up there now and then, but
I can't follow it though.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll be able to give us some more information on that.
All right, so I'm going to stop this real quick so that we can make sure we have the segments. So you were training a little bit with the Por Muang Pet Gym, which has some female fighters right before they went on like a fighting spree.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went down there for one training session, which was in the morning. Namtan and another smaller girl called Rungnapa, who you fought a few times, was there. But they don't really train in the morning. They were there, they ran for like 15 minutes, did some bicep curls and then left, which is a shame because I really wanted to spar with them. But they did say they were going on this big week trip to fight in Sisaket and Ubon Ratchathani. They invited me to go with them, but I couldn't go because I work.
Yeah.
So they first stopped in Sisaket, I think, and then Namtan fought. I don't know who she fought though. Do you know who it was?
I have more Siam.
Okay.
So
This one was on the 31st of January.
So Namtan fought Nong Nat Roro Gila Panbury. I don't know.
Okay, so Cranberry Sports School.
Yeah. I've heard.
She lost that one, right?
I've heard of a Nong Nat, but it can't be the same one. It's the different area, so it's just the same name. But there was an interesting update on that one. They appeared to have blamed her loss on her period. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the trainer Kru Chai, he posts in English, but his update was Namtan lose because of Blood Lady.
Sounds so nefarious.
Yeah, I mean I got it, but yeah, I think she lost on points, and then Gelda and Rungnapa both won. And then they went from there to Ubon Ratchathani, and I don't think Namtan fought in that one. I didn't hear any update from that. Maybe because Blood Lady, I don't know. Gelda won by KO, apparently.
Nice.
And Rungnapa lost on points.
I think that a guy at my gym who's from Udon was asking me all these really bizarre questions about how many times I had fought and beat Gauda, and was it true that she had beat me, and I'm like, yeah. And it took me forever to realize he was asking me because he was going to call someone and place a bet, and he wanted to know whether he could bet on her or not, because she was fighting someone who was incredibly tall, I guess. But it's only like 44 kilos, but is really tall. Her name is like Nong Ai or something.
The only Nong Ai I know is like 51 kilos, and she's down here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. Names like that, like Nong O, Nong A, Nong I, those are like actually their names, so there are so many of them.
Yeah. And Marcella, who is training in Phuket, she looks like she's fighting for it looks like it's for a title.
It does. They both have belts in the picture, right?
Yeah, but then it's a really small picture, but there's a little small, I think it was a WBC belt. You know, sometimes they put a belt on the poster just to make it look more interesting.
Right.
But, yeah, it looks like it's a big fight.
She's been getting some good, like, high-profile fights in the past year.
Yeah, she's been doing really well. And she has a lot of fights. I think she recently had her 50th Muay Thai fight. But she's fought in different styles too, so she really has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I heard about her through friends when I first came here, and she'd been active in Phuket at that time, and that was like 5 years ago, so.
Yeah.
yeah, she seems to be doing pretty well.
It's always weird for me because it seems like we know most of the people at our like relative size, and then there'll be someone who just comes out of nowhere. I'm like, where were you? Like, why do I not why do I not know where you are? Which actually brings me to something Kevin and I have been talking about, which is like, where are the female bloggers right now? Like, for a while there were quite a few of us, and then some people have gone home and just kind of not been blogging as much. But when I try to think of like what is the new wave that's come in to replace some of the fighters who have gone home, because there's always a turnover, I actually don't know who like the newer people are who are here. Like the next wave, I'm not really aware of.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Melissa and Kelly have both kind of more or less stopped blogging. I know Melissa got a job and she's been really busy with that. Kelly also has been really busy with work.
Yeah.
And then Sophia's just started blogging, so let's see.
Yeah, and Natasha went home, and Gemma is kind of like, Gemma's been kind of refining her place, which is difficult to blog during, even though it's really good material.
Yeah. She just started posting again as well. I was just reading one of hers this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natasha's actually setting up her own gym. She's been really busy with that. She's been posting stuff on Instagram about that.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've been doing private lessons and stuff, and they have a facility set up. It looks really good, so she seems to be doing pretty well.
That's good. If that allows itself, people tend to be able to come back, like, with their gym or for their gym or something.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what she's trying to set up.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of dovetails a little bit into the theme of this podcast, which is a revisit of Emma's epic controversial blog post about gym hoppers and gym loyalty. And so there have been a few questions about whether you feel differently about this now that you're kind of experimenting with other gyms and maybe looking to change gyms and things like this. So Emma, I'll put it to you.
All right. Well, the first thing I should address is that what we haven't talked about is that, I am looking for new gyms, or I have been looking at new gyms. I mean, now that, like I said, my situation's looking up and I've got sparring partners and fights on the horizon, it's like, it's okay right now, but I've been quite aware for the last few months, 6 months, maybe more, that I'm not really getting what I need out of my gym for various reasons. But I'm not progressing, I'm not getting the fights or the training that I really need, so I've been thinking about moving on, and that's been really, really difficult. The question of does it make me feel differently about the gym hopper thing that I posted is no, because that's not what I was talking about when I posted it. And if there's one thing that I could redo, is make that a lot clearer when I wrote it. It's because a lot of the response to that post seemed to be, if you ever go to another gym, that's wrong, you know, which was obviously, I really tried to say, especially in the comments, because I got a lot of responses to it, that, you know, if you're not getting what you want from your gym, of course you should leave,
right?
You know, there's, blind loyalty, there's no point in that, and I always said that. But of course, if I ever do move on, people are going to be like, "Ooh, hypocrite," you know. But no, I don't feel differently about it. Maybe I should write a revisit post on that. But kind of an update, because that was maybe more than 2 years ago that I wrote it. But yeah, like I said, the point of that post wasn't that you can't ever go to another gym, and if you're with your gym, you should stay there forever, because that's dumb. But if, it goes both ways, and I was kind of talking about a specific kind of fighter, not like just people who stay with one gym for a while and then go to another gym, it's more about looking out for yourself only, instead of, instead of kind of giving a bit back to your gym.
Yeah.
And especially in Thailand, like, they're a lot more sensitive to that. Well, I mean, I don't really, I guess I don't have anything to compare it to, because I haven't trained so much in England.
Mm.
I never trained in America, but I got a big response from gyms there.
Yeah.
Like positive response, who were like, yeah, we know what this is like. This sucks when you put everything into a fighter and then they just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So maybe the difference isn't as big as I think it is between Thailand and there.
I think that people kind of conflate. They see gym hoppers in your title, and
I think they're immediately offended by it.
Yeah, and they kind of remember that you're talking about loyalty, but I think that they don't fully put those pieces together. In that people who are coming to Thailand for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, something like this, it's a temporary bit of time. Like, you're not going to get super invested or become an investment for those gyms that you're training and fighting out of. So you're talking about a very temporary slice. It's like a summer romance.
Yeah.
Do you cheat on a summer romance? I don't know. Like, it's a super short, like, everyone knows what you're in for. So people coming for a short duration of time and being able to go to different gyms completely makes sense, and that's not what you or other people are talking about. And I think that's actually a good idea if you're coming here for a short amount of time to be able to sample different places, because a lot of people just go to one place that, like, their school in the West is a feeder school for, and then they end up being really unhappy, and it's like you could have had different experiences by going somewhere else, and I think that's really good. But I think that in the long term, what you were talking about, the importance of really investing time and trust and vice versa with your gym is not always the best result, because you may have mismatched ideas about what that means. But if you never try it, if you're only ever kind of bouncing around, and I think a lot of people from the West come in and they try to, like, take techniques from each place as if they're, like, collecting playing cards or something. Like, I learned the spinning elbow from this guy, and then I went and learned, Pet Boon Chu's clinch and all these different things, and they want to train with Sanchai. I think that those people conflating what they're doing in Thailand with what people who are, like, rooted in a gym, there are incredibly different dynamics going on in those two experiences. And last night you and I both listened to Muay Thai Guy's podcast on the importance of gym hopping and how you can, learn so much by sampling around and that kind of thing.
And the gym hopping he was talking about is not the same gym hopping I was talking about.
No, and I think it's very different in the West. I think in the West you can still get bit in the ass by going to different gyms, but I think there, because it's so much more of a long-standing commercial enterprise, here it's commercial as well, but it's very newly commercial, so Thais don't fully understand how to divide those things. I think that having a base gym and being able to kind of go get the things that you need at other gyms that he's talking about is good. I do that. I've recently gone over to Sor Clinmi gym to get more clinch training because there are fewer boys at my gym. And Sor Clinmi and my trainer grew up together, so they're friends. And I asked my trainer first whether it would be okay for me to go do that, and there's definite tension. He was like, yes, but I can tell that he's not, like, super in on it. But I need it, so I go, and there's definitely, Sor Clinmi is always asking me, like, so you're still training at Petrung Rung, right? Like, you're not, can we take you, over here? And it's like a tightrope that can definitely go bad at any moment. And so it's not the kind of thing that you can blindly suggest people do,
It's funny, actually, when I was at Paul Mung Pet and I was talking to Crew Chai about you, because we were talking about Rungnapar and how many times you fought, and he was like, oh, she trained at many gyms, and, like, shaking his head like it was bad. Yeah, so
he does have this, like, one gym, one trainer thing that is his, like, ethic.
Yeah, he was all about that. He spent a lot of time talking about culture, and all of his shorts had one crew, one gym on them, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was not okay with that, Sylvie. But Yeah, one thing Sean was saying in his podcast was, you know, if your trainer's going to stop you or limit you, you know, when you want to go and get sparring with this person in that gym or something like that, then you know, maybe that's bad. And yeah, like Master Toddy, for example, he's happy for me to go and train with you or to go somewhere and get what I need as long as I talk to him about it first, you know, and that's a different thing.
Yeah,
that's not gym hopping.
Yeah.
You know.
There's also,
but maybe I didn't do it. Obviously, I didn't do a very good job of explaining that. So
yeah. I think it's just in explaining it, even though it sounds very creepy, comparing it to romantic or family relationships.
Definitely
is really what you're talking about. You know, like there are situations in which it kind of works to have these, you know, you go out with your friends because your partner doesn't fulfill that part of it. You need to like have this separate thing, and there is a kind of like girls' night out understanding kind of thing, but you definitely like have limits for how well that relationship's going to work out if you're like running around all over the place.
Yeah.
Which includes what I do, so I have to be very aware of it.
And that same thing happens with different trainers within the same gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like I recently experienced that, and it was very awkward because I've been with Kru Singh for a long time, and then this other guy Dao Mai came in who's quite a lot older than him, maybe 18 years older than him, and he's got a very big personality, and he has history with Master Toddy, so he kind of came in and, you know, he kind of took over the place, and it turns out he's an incredible teacher, and I really got on well with him, and he kind of, in a time when nobody else was really giving me any attention and helping me progress, he took me under his wing and started teaching me every day.
Yeah.
But I could see that Kru Singh did not like it at all. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not going to teach me, of course I'm going to let him do it, you know? And there would be times when, there was one specific time when I was doing some pad work with Dao Mai, and we'd just finished and we were taking off our wraps and stuff. And he was talking to me, kind of explaining what we'd just done and how I need to do this kind of movement in the future. And then Kru Singh came over and stopped in mid-sentence and was like, "Emma, clinching now." I was like, okay. I realised that wasn't really directed at me. It was more directed at him. There was a lot of that tension within the gym, you know, and that's in the same gym, but two different trainers, so it goes that way too sometimes.
Yeah. So you and I honestly like wouldn't even think that my karate is a form of cross training, but clearly it is. You went and did this strength training recently, so.
I did. That came about because this guy Jamal, I actually met him in Chiang Mai years ago. He was in the same Muay Thai gym I was with up there, and he was fighting there. He retired a few years ago because of injuries, and then he moved down to Bangkok, and he was training with Eminent Air. He still trains there now and then. And then he became a qualified personal trainer and strength and conditioning coach. And he's working at this gym called Aspire in Bangkok, which is like a real big like CrossFit gym. And he got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago and was like, "Oh, I'll give you a session. So come down and try it." So we did that, and it was really, really fun. I got to play with some equipment that I never usually get to. You know, like battle ropes and all this kind of stuff that, like, I don't know how any of these things work. You know, like, give me a barbell, some dumbbells, like, I'm fine. But all of this, like, fancy stuff, I don't know what to do with it. But it was really cool to have somebody teach me, because I normally do all my conditioning on my own, and I just kind of have to look things up and do it myself and teach myself. So we're going to start working together more often. He's given me like a little plan to work on until the next time I see him. And he also wants to set up a strength and conditioning class specifically for Muay Thai fighters. But even more so, he kind of wants to make it for women only.
Mm.
So I think that would be interesting. So if anybody's interested in getting in with something like that, then let me know, because we want to put the feelers out for that. I think that would be cool.
I feel like you more than I understand kind of the correlation between like strength training and Muay Thai. Like, I don't really know how to do things, but two, I just can't be asked to like lift a lot of weights. Like I have like very, very small routines and things like that for my conditioning, but my conditioning is very like plyometric. But you do these.
Did
like...
you just say I can't be asked?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Carry on.
I follow you and Kelly too much. But I can see, like, when I watch you do it, when I saw the pictures of you doing, like, your jumps in the sled and things like this, I'm like, that would be great for explosiveness, and, like, I can totally see it. But I'm like, ab roller.
Yeah. That was why it was really great to have, like, a specialist actually work with me on it, you know? Because, like I said, I normally have to do this kind of stuff on my own, like you, and you just kind of, pull-ups and push-ups and squats, all that kind of thing. But I try to make everything sports specific, but I'm not a specialist. I'm just kind of doing what I think is good, you know. Do this kind of pull-up because I think it's good for clinching, you know, but this is only my personal assessment. But that session with him, made me feel like an infant. I felt so weak, and I was so sore for like 4 days afterwards. That sled in particular, I don't know what the real name for it is. This is how much that I know. That sled that you have to push along. He was like, I really shouldn't be able to walk faster than you can push this. And I'm like, well, that's how it's going to be. Like, by the end of it, I was dying. But it was really, really cool. I'm looking forward to making some more progress with that.
Do you think that there are physical, obviously there are physical benefits, but do you feel the physical benefits of doing something like that? Or do you feel like initially it's a mental thing to be able to, like, come out of Muay Thai that you do every day and kind of work on something else that you then kind of come back anew?
I think it's both. I mean, in the last few months, I got into strength and conditioning a lot more on my own for that reason, because I was bored with my training, and that's how I ended up running a half marathon and putting a lot more into my strength and conditioning work, because I needed something else.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, when you, especially in clinching and stuff like that, like, you can definitely feel power where you didn't feel it before. I mean, it could be all in my head, but, you know, that's still good, you know.
And it's still real.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to check this again, and we'll start it again.
Okay.
All right, it's going.
Okay, so we asked people to send us a few questions, because this is new territory for us. We don't really know what you guys want to hear, so we asked people to send us a few questions, and I know you got a few first. Why don't you?
Yeah, so one of the first questions we got was about the status of our book.
Yes.
Which we just really have not committed.
We have a skeleton of it.
Yeah. So that, I think that's something that we're still, we have good sources for, and we do have the skeleton for it, and it's just something that we really need to, like, start together. But we've definitely heard from enough people that this is something that they're interested in, that it's actually probably a bigger idea now than it was when we first started.
Yeah, I mean, we always knew that it was something we needed to do, but I think setting up the forum and stuff like that has been really good for that, because it's giving us a better idea of what we need to put in there. So yeah, we're working on it. This is the year that we're gonna.
It's gonna be our year.
But yeah, we have a skeleton for it. We know roughly what it's gonna be, and I think the forum is helping us shape that a little more.
For sure.
We get a bit more input from the rest of the female Muay Thai community to know what they want to hear. So.
And then I had another question from the same person about this documentary that Mark, fortunately I don't know how to say his last name, I think it's Picos or Picos. Mark is putting together from my vlogs, and I watched a draft of it, and it made me cry. It's amazing.
Really?
It did, because, like, it's not that long. I mean, it's coming up on 4 years that we've been here, but it covers from the first time I came to Thailand. And the little nascent Sylvie that's like, I'm gonna go do this thing, and it's like, it's kind of amazing to see that the struggles that I had have just been washed down the line by the struggles that I have now, and they're actually incredibly similar, but I think it's hard for us to reflect in such a way to see all the ways in which you've already handled your shit because you're always working on the next thing. So it's like in training, when you're having a really shit day and you're so tired and all these things, to realize that you're so much stronger than you were 3 years ago is not really the kind of thought that like plugs into your brain. But it's also really amazing to see because I can see that there are more people who are starting that now. Like there are people who are making their first trips to Thailand, and it's such an incredible, life-altering and sometimes life-swallowing experiences, as you and I know.
I really want to see this. Do we know how this is going to work?
So it's been submitted to the Artemis Film Festival, and it will.
Where is that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's been accepted yet, but if it does get accepted, then there will be options presented for how it will be released if you can't go to the film festival. So it may be streaming, or it may be on Amazon or a DVD or something like that. So Mark's not sure yet because it's still in such an early state. But it's kind of amazing that there's going to be like a Sylvie film in a film festival.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
That I shot, essentially. It's very weird.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was working on that. It kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he let me know, which was nice.
Well, that's good.
I can't believe how much work he must have put into it, because I have, like, hundreds of vlogs, like 100-something vlogs.
Yeah.
He, like, went and, put it together, so that's pretty amazing. To listen to me talking for hours to put that all together is good. And you had questions.
Other questions? Oh, I had one from I had a couple from Milena. The first one she asked in relation to me gym hopping, as you might call it, looking for other gyms. She wanted to know what specifically I was looking for. For me, first of all, somewhere that trains in the mornings. I didn't realize in Thailand how hard that was to find a gym that really has good training in the mornings. It seems like everywhere else has kind of chills in the morning, it does a little bit, and then has the main session in the evening. Mm-hmm. But because I work in the evening, I can't do that. So there's that. I need somewhere that's got committed sparring partners. They don't need to be my size because they never have been. But that's all. I mean, I think going into a gym, you normally get the feeling when you walk in there whether it's going to work or it isn't. And the couple of gyms I've been to so far, I did not get a good feeling from. I went. The first gym I went to was actually the gym that Tu's training at, which is called MTM. It's in Thong Lo. It's a very new gym, and for me, it just really felt like they were not interested in a female fighter. Maybe that may not be the case, but that's the feeling that I got. Like, I don't know if you get it when you go to gyms, but it's like they're like, you kind of get the feeling like, so you think you're a fighter, and they kind of want to test you, and it's not a good feeling. No. It kind of no. So I sparred with this guy. I don't remember his name. He's got a belt at Max Muay Thai at the moment.
Oh, I saw his fight. Yeah, I can't remember his name either. He's good.
Yeah, great. But I had a really rough sparring session with him. And I enjoyed it, but I just knew it wasn't somewhere that I could train long term. Paul Mung Pet, I had a really good feeling about that place before I went to it, and I was really excited because they have so many girls and some of them are my size and they fight so often. Unfortunately, I can't really get the training that I need there because they just don't train in the mornings, but I might start going there on my days off for clinching in the afternoons. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna head down to Eminent Air and train with Kelly soon. Probably next week because Kate's coming to train with me on Friday. So, and I only get one day off a week, so it'll have to be the following Friday. Milena also asked me, this will be a question for both of us. She said, what made you risk all and come to Thailand. Because she just came here for the first time.
Yeah.
And she's in that space now where she just got home and she's like, how do I get back? You know? And I told her, like, I'm with you on that. Like, yeah. I've been there. And she was like, oh, maybe it's because it's my first time. I was like, no, it doesn't matter how many times you come here. You're always going to feel that way when you go home.
Yeah.
You know?
She went to Phuket, right?
She was here, and then she went to Phuket, and I don't remember where she trained in Phuket. I believe it was Muay Thai.
Okay.
But she really enjoyed it. And I think she's kind of looking at how can I get back out there. Which is the same space that my friend Marina is in, who she's from Japan, and she just came out here after she was here almost 3 years ago, and then she went back home, and she's just come out again, and she's like trying her best to set up, to get things in place so that she can stay here.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to help her with that. Because she can work online, which is good.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that luxury. It's either that or you teach, which is what I do. So it's kind of hard to answer, like, how do you drop everything and come to Thailand?
I think that for me, it was not a difficult decision. It was just a difficult process.
Yeah.
I think that we knew. For me, it's the decision of both me and Kevin, which is kind of an odd situation. Most people come here alone. But I think that for both of us, it was this immediate, like, when we were leaving, we were like, we have to come back. We have to do everything to come back. And so it was basically, there's the first trip to Thailand, and then the filler space is how we came back. Working and all these things to be able to come back. And it's because of Mark's film that he sent me, I got to hear myself and what I was actually saying when we were moving back here, so I know what I was thinking, which is that the things that I had to give up in order to come here were of lesser urgency than my feeling of wanting to come back here. So the difficult things were leaving my dog, because I'm one of those people, and leaving Master K, because he was someone who I saw all the time. I love very much, and now I don't get to see him anymore. But for me, because of my living situation, I didn't leave my family. They lived in a different state, so I didn't see them very often. Leaving my bartending job was, like, really not that hard. And then, I loved the area that Kevin and I were living in and things like that, but I wasn't able to do Muay Thai the way that I wanted to do Muay Thai. So,
yeah.
But, like, how do you take this giant leap? Is I saw where I wanted to go, even though I didn't understand fully what it might be. And then I just fucking dropped the grenade where I was and, like, went for it. It's like, just go.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just the hardest part is just buying the ticket, And then once you've done that, everything else will just come together.
Yeah, it becomes a countdown, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's hard for me to answer, like, how did you make the decision? Because it wasn't a difficult decision. I knew that I wanted to do it, and I just did it.
Yeah.
No, that's not very helpful. Just do it.
Yeah, I think that the difficulty is people have this uncertainty of, like, I know what my life is here. I had this very short experience there, and I don't know how to put it all together. When I get questions from people that are like, how do I, like, what's the best gym? That irritate me so much. I'm totally out of touch with what it felt like when I was first coming to Thailand, and I didn't understand how anything worked. Like,
yeah,
they don't have web pages. Like, how do you find a gym in Asan if that's where you want to go? They don't have web pages. So you're like, how do I even find a gym? How do I find an apartment? And I'm like, dude, there are so many apartments. Just come here, and then you can find it. And, like, I know that.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, but it's really unhelpful, for other people. Just come out here, it'll work. But it really is so easy to get yourself set up here.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, believe us when we say that. But we also need to appreciate that people don't know what they're heading into. So.
Yeah. Most people aren't very comfortable with just hopping on a flight and, just coming over here and not knowing what's in front of them, That's the difficulty I had when I was thinking about this book that we're writing, actually, because I was trying to get back into that headspace of before I came here and what did I want to know.
Yeah.
So that was difficult for me because I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I just remember booking the flight and coming out.
Yeah, and we're like, just dive in.
Yeah.
Mostly it works, so, all right, so I had a question from Dion. I actually have two. The first one is, what are your thoughts on Westerners taking American version of gaining crew status in America, and then in return giving them the right to be called crew? So I will expand that to not just America, because there are crews all over the place. I think you should answer first, because you are actually at a gym that
where this happens.
Crew certification.
Yeah. First of all, I will say, if you change your Facebook name to Crew, well, just please don't do that. Don't be like Crew John on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people come in and out and do this certification. And while the stuff that these people learn on the course at my gym, because I can only speak for my gym, is really good, and it's really useful, it is still only a week. And Master Tori even says, like, this doesn't make you a crew. It doesn't make you an instructor. You have to. I'm just giving you the tool so you can go and make it yourself. I can only give you so much in a week, and then you have to go and make it. And that's why most of them come back. Well, yeah, most of them come back every year and kind of do like a top up thing where they come and train with us again, and sometimes bring their fighters back. But are people doing these certificates in the States too?
They do. There are some that are kind of like organized, actually through Master Toddy. So there's like a Master Cheetah, who I think is friends. I don't know. He's in California, and I don't know if he's through Master Toddy's Vegas gym or if they just knew each other. But a lot of people on the East Coast are crew certified through Master Cheetah.
Okay.
But I guess that my feeling about it is, again, I thought the exact same thing, where I'm like, don't make it your Facebook name. Like, it's so... or people who, like, put Thai in their Facebook name. The thing about it is that I sometimes do and sometimes don't call my trainer crew. Like, there are people who are introduced to me as crew dom, crew lek, whatever. I call Pinu Pinu 90% of the time. Every now and then I'll call him crew nu. But crew just means teacher. It's the word for teacher. So kids at school use crew and then their teacher's name, because that's a polite thing to do.
That's what I get called all the time.
Yeah, it's not like PhD or something.
Yeah.
My own brothers are PhDs, and one of them uses it in his name all the time for his profession, and the other one doesn't at all. I'm kind of the, like, mind that I would never use it at all. But I can understand when you go to school and put all that work into it, wanting that accomplishment attached because of the honorifics that come with it. So, I guess I see it in a same way of, because there isn't in the West a large understanding of what that certification or that status actually means, I don't give it any kind of status. I just see it as like a title, and the people who are really like determined to use it, I think, tend to be the ones who misunderstand it the most. That's not universal. I'm not accusing people who are calling themselves crew of being like nobodies, but I'm just saying that, like, when you put a lot of weight into something that isn't largely understood, you get a lot of misunderstanding. And so I guess it's one of these things that in Thai language, you use ka or krap at the end of sentences in order to be polite. You're not being rude by not adding those. You can speak politely without using them. So I think without using the name, you can be really a good teacher or a teacher or whatever the thing is. And when using the name, you can't say fuck you ka and expect that to be a polite sentence. Like, you can't just add crew and become like, a teacher. It's like what Toddy said, where like you have to be a teacher. We just gave you a like certification paper. So
yeah. I mean, I've seen people come through who have been amazing, and I've seen people come through and been like, Jesus Christ, are you going to teach people? And I will say, a lot of these people are just doing it for themselves. They actually, a lot of them don't go on to teach anyone.
Yeah.
They just do it for themselves. At our gym they do like two or three levels of it. I think the first one is just like a trainer course if you have like zero experience in teaching, and then the actual crew course you need to have either taught before or you need to have done another certification before or something like that. But yeah, you get some people who come through and you're like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. But also, I mean, the thing about that is, you know, you get these people who come for this certification, they pay for the course, they've flown all the way out to Thailand, they've done it. How are you going to tell them at the end, no, you don't get it? Right. You know? Like, that's not a thing that happens. It's like when you go on like a personal trainer course and there are people on there who have absolutely no business being personal trainers. They won't be personal trainers, you know what I mean? Or they'll go into it and they'll swiftly stop doing it. Right. You know? And it's the same with this. You know, this kind of thing happens in every profession, I feel like. But just with Muay Thai, it's kind of a touchy subject. Yeah. I think. Especially Kevin Ross, he has some very strong feelings about that on his existed. Yeah.
All right, so he had a second question, Dion. Has Thailand in general become saturated with Westerners going to Thailand to train with the rise of Tiger Muay Thai, and has that affected the cost of training as a whole? That's interesting to single out Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah, I've never been to Tiger Muay Thai.
I guess it's
never actually been to Phuket.
I guess it's like how in America especially, people are like, Bukaw is the greatest Muay Thai fighter ever, and I'm like, name another one.
Yeah.
Like, I think that people know Tiger because it's very, very well known in the West. It is very commercial, especially in the way they present themselves with these like camps and stuff. Like they actually are geared towards kind of a bro audience a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they do a very good job with their marketing and everything.
Yeah,
the reason why they're so big.
Yeah, I mean they have their own, their own shop and all of these things. So, I don't know that affects the pricing of training in general gyms in Thailand. I think that in gyms that don't know what they're doing and they're starting up and they just look to someone else to like see what they're doing, that would affect that. But by and large, gyms either know how to market towards Westerners or they don't. And there's not a lot of like in between. So when I was at Omi-kun and they would get a Westerner, they had no concept at all of what to do. So, when I would ask like, someone wants to come train here, what's the pricing? And someone would tell me, I was like, you're not used to Westerners coming here. Like that is not what your gym can do. So I would say that not pointing fingers at particular gyms, but just the growing commercialization and Muay Thai as part of tourism is definitely affecting aspects of Muay Thai for me more so in the shows that I'm watching, Max and Thai Fight and things like that is like mind blowing. But at gyms, I don't know that it's that different. For me, it's more exciting that this like rise of the middle class fitness gym is like very in at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of those around right now. I think Two's gym is actually kind of half one of those gyms too. Where they get a lot of, I guess you would call them like high so Thais coming in for private lessons, like and weight loss classes and stuff, which is cool. But there's a lot more of that than there used to be. These really modern gyms where I guess girls feel like they can come in, they're not intimidated to do it, which is great because that's the thing that stopped me when I first wanted to do Muay Thai. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see. I think that Muay Thai Angels really wanted to. That was one of their things, wasn't it? Or like Sutsuoi Muay Thai, they wanted to market more towards women and Max Muay Thai is really interesting. In what they're doing, they're clearly marketing themselves towards foreigners, and in the new year they've kind of revamped their show a little bit and started offering bonuses and super bonuses to fighters who are aggressive, even if nothing that you throw actually lands. So basically, if you want to get a bonus or even a super bonus, you have to throw lots of spinning back elbows and flying knees, and be really aggressive in the last round. And they said in the rules, which I will post later today actually, in the rules that they give you when you fight there, if in the last round you are aggressive and you move forward, you will win that round. No matter what.
Yeah.
So they said if you fight backwards in the last round, you'll lose. So that's interesting.
I feel like they apply that non-universally in the fights that I've watched. On Saturday is a Thai versus Thai night, and then Sunday is the Thai versus Farang night. And when I watched the Saturday's show, they still offer the bonuses and super bonuses, but I don't see nearly as much of the kind of like what the hell is going on fighting, which, you know, that also comes from having fighters from outside of Thailand who maybe have not fought in Thailand very much, so they don't fight the same way or follow the same rules or any of those things. So you can get these like head scratchers prior to that change in rules. But the like, we just want this to be an action-packed, non-stop thing is like jarring, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to watch it. It's very clear what they're trying to do, but some of the fights are just terrible. I'll say it. They are.
It's interesting though to, you know, try to adjust your style for different scenarios, I guess is the way to say it. Like, people come to Thailand and don't know Thai scoring and think they've been robbed here. And it's like learn the rules, right? And then Thai people will go outside of Thailand and fight like a Thai and lose and be like, what the fuck? It's called Muay Thai. Like, why are you not scoring it the way we score it? And it's like, you're not in Thailand anymore. Petchi Jha just had her first fight abroad. Yes. She went to Japan and she fought a girl much bigger than herself. And it went all 5 rounds and she lost on points, and they showed the scores, and one judge had a draw, one had it going way towards the Japanese girl, and one had it going like close towards the Japanese girl. So I didn't see the fight. I don't know really how it all played out. But in the photos, Jija is kicking a lot, and the Japanese girl seems to be punching and elbowing a lot. Right. In Thailand, punches and elbows, unless they're really affecting you, are not going to be a great score. And you can totally see in a situation where she's like kicking, thinking I'm landing all of the big scores, and then like visually she's just getting bombarded by somebody. And I'm not saying like that scoring is wrong. Like, you know, you're in a different country, you follow that scoring. But I'm curious to see how that actually played out, because Japanese fighters fight very differently from the way Thais do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. I hope there's videos of that. But I can imagine it was a case where she got to the end of it and then the Japanese girl's hand was raised and she was like, wait, what? Yeah.
I've watched, because I really, really like Rena, I've watched a lot of Japanese shoot boxing. Not a lot. I've watched a good share of Japanese shoot boxing, and I like it, and I have no clue what's going on. Like, they'll just start choking each other, and I'm like, I've never seen that before, or there will be a throw or whatever. And I'm watching these, they bring over these Thai fighters who are actually really good fighters in Thailand, and they have no idea what's going on in...
Yeah, Zaza fought in shoe boxing, didn't she?
Yeah, when she...
I don't know how many times, but there was one video where she got choked out.
Yeah, and she got, like, liver kicked or kidney punched or something by Rena, and it was just, like, unbelievable. But there's this, like, they break the clinch really fast, and so the Thai girls are like, why are you not letting me clinch? And then they'll, like, put them in a chokehold, and you're like...
Yeah.
What are the rules?
I do not understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I'm sure, you know, I don't remember, but when you come to Thailand and you think someone is running away from you and then they win the fight and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, that just ran away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
So learn the rules wherever you are, I guess.
Yeah. Well, some of them don't even tell you. Like, Tu went to fight one of his fights in China, and there was, I think they told him you can clinch as long as you're kneeing.
Right.
And then they kept breaking it up, And apparently there was another fight on that card where the non-Chinese guy, I don't know where he was from, was winning with knees like real bad, and they kept stopping him, and I think eventually he got, is it like a yellow card or a red card, which means like, I don't know, is this football or what? But I think he lost half of his purse for it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was because basically he was winning.
Yeah.
But yeah. So even if you try to learn the rules,
yeah,
sometimes it doesn't work.
I actually tried to figure out after you showed me the rules that Tu had gotten for his Max show. I tried to figure out whether they give those rules in Thai to Thai people, because I'm like, wouldn't that be crafty to like tell the Farang go crazy? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So I tried to figure it out with Pinu, but he had no idea what I was talking about. So either they get a set of rules like verbally and they don't get the like written out one, or they don't get told the same things, or he just doesn't pay attention. I don't know, but I'm curious. I tried to ask Abigail at Sit Non Chai if they get the same rules in Thai, and she said she wasn't sure. So
I'll ask Tu to find out for me, seeing as his gym has a pretty good connection with Max Muay Thai, and one of their fighters fights on there a lot. So I'll see if I can find out. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I was like,
yes. But it's a shame that they don't let women on Max. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
I think it'll happen eventually, but right now with what they seem to be gearing towards for their
when I saw the rules and everything, I was like, this is why you think female fights aren't exciting. I see what you're going for. Maybe. But hopefully Muay Thai Angels will be back this year.
Yeah.
Kunlun Fight did a Bangkok event. I don't know if this is going to be a recurring thing.
They work through Bokao mostly, don't they?
Do they? I know that they did. I don't know if they still do.
Okay. Because he's doing Banchamek, so I don't know if he would do, like...
Yeah. And then there's this other new promotion called Super Muay Thai?
Yes!
Yeah. I think it's the same thing. I think it's also Bokao's show. And I know that they've had 2 female fights that I know of so far, because one of them was Yod Ying's student, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Had a girl that fought on there. They were 2 real small little young girls, and then on Sunday, Doc My Bar fought on there. I don't know who her opponent was, but she won. So maybe they're going to start having more female fights.
Nice. The ratio is a little odd always. It's like 12 male fights and 1 female fight, but...
Yeah. And then I've been invited to fight on this show on April 4th at Sanam Luang. I don't know what it is. The last 2 shows that I've been invited to with this promoter were both like all female shows. Yeah. So I don't know if this one is going to be the same. The last 2 made sense because it was for the Queen's birthday and the King's birthday. I have no idea what's going on in April. We're all a bit confused by that, but that might be a thing. Because the promoter is the same promoter from MBK, and he was the one who wanted Kate to rematch her opponent from there on that show. So maybe that's going to be another big women's fight. So I'm just going to try and get more information about that.
Well, tell him to fly Kate back out from the U.S. for that. That's, I'm sure
that'd be nice.
Be keen to come back, right?
Yeah, that could be another big show. I was like, oh, is it Muay Thai Angels? But no, I don't think it is. Just have to keep us waiting.
All right, well, that is the time for our first attempt at a podcast.
Awesome. Okay.
So we'll put this together and see how it goes. And good times, Emma. I love.
Yeah.
And we kept it together really good.
Yeah, you did say fuck twice though.
No, that part's okay. I'm just afraid that we're gonna be like, oh my god, how many new serial killer books do you have?
Yeah, that too. That could be a separate thing.
We'll take that to Facebook. We'll leave that. All right. Talk to you soon, Emma.
All right. See ya.
Right, bye, everyone.
Bye.
วางแข้งอีกแล้วฟันศอกเอาครับพยายามโต้ศอกเหมือนกันฟาดขุนพลห่วงได้ชักหมดแล้วครับตับเต้าสอง